Thank you. This is definitely an all-star cast today. This show is going to be a little different from what we typically do, and even different from what we did last year for our GTC preview show. We thought, how cool would it be if we asked some of the actual developers that are presenting at GTC to come and give a quick overview, and so you can meet them and hear about their session, learn about who's best to attend each session. So we thought, let's try to invite them. And we got, as you can see, we have a bunch of them here, and there's going to be more coming throughout the hour popping in. We also recorded a few interviews yesterday for people who couldn't be here today. As you can imagine, right now it's kind of all hands on deck here for GTC. It's the most exciting part of the job here, pretty much showing off what we're working on to the public. Let me introduce also a very special guest, Vincent Brisbois, who is basically on the community, manages the community team. He works directly with Wendy, I, and Amelia, who helped with a lot of slides you just saw a minute ago. Vincent works putting together a lot of the videos that you see that help people learn about Omniverse. He works closely with that team. He does a lot more than that. But during the live streams, he's the guy who's often helping people who are asking questions. So you have that man to thank for the great knowledge that's spread in the live streams and the chats. So without further ado, let's get started. So obviously this show is focused on GTC, which if you haven't registered for it, register now. It is free. Most of the sessions are free. There's a few paid sessions which have to do with DLI, hands-on training, but most of the content is 100% free. And if you register, you'll be able to have access to the sessions too right away afterwards through video if you can't make the live presentations. We also have a few things that are specific to Omniverse during GTC. And I hear GTC is going to be a pretty important part of the keynote, I hear, is a rumor going around. So we'll see what's in store for everybody there from Jensen. We also have during GTC developer days. So we have sessions scattered throughout GTC, the 4 days of developer-focused sessions. So there's a specific schedule for that. We also have what our favorite thing to do is, Wendy and myself, is the Omniverse user group. We will be capping off GTC on the last day with our user group. We will be kind of doing a recap of things that were announced at GTC and also showing off what some of the community has been working on, as well as some partners. And we will show some very cool highlights. And we will also be announcing our second Omniverse ambassador. So that's super exciting. So anyway. It's going to be great fun. Okay, so let's get started. We have Jan who's going to go up first. But before Jan goes, Vince, let me ask you just general GTC background. What is GTC? Why is it so important to NVIDIA? Why should people come watch it? And what does it mean for you?
Yeah, so GTC is amazing to me. I've been going to it. I don't even remember how many years I've been going to GTC, but my first GTC, I was presenting for Autodesk. I was working at Autodesk at the time, doing some 3D Studio Max. Following GTC, I was at Fusion IO. We were doing high-speed memory tiers, our DMA direct memory addressing with GPUs. So I presented at GTC on the storage front. Then I was at DAZ 3D, and at DAZ we implemented iRay. So I presented again at a third company. And so I think it was, it was in the cards that I would end up at NVIDIA, considering how many times I ended up presenting at GTC. And for those who aren't, it's NVIDIA's developer conference. And I think that it's so much more than that. And obviously when it's remote like this and virtual, you have to do a little bit extra effort because you have to go and read what's going on and go and check out these videos, which is why it's amazing to have all these people here to give you that little kind of tantalizing description of what they're going to be working on or showing. But when it's in person, it's like I'm like a kid in a candy store. You walk around and it's all the new advancements, all the new technologies. And a few years ago or decades ago, it was very graphic centric, right? Because everyone knows NVIDIA for the GPUs and graphics. And then AI came around, and then AI started going everywhere, right? So now you go to this conference, and you have molecular simulation for healthcare research. You have weather patterns. You have digital twins and things that are connecting to real robots, and being able to visualize a factory and move a stack of objects and have a robot actually go pick it up and move it. And it's amazing what the combination of graphics and artificial intelligence and neural networks, how that has merged into this complete different universe. It's just opened up graphics to everyone. It's opened up AI to everyone. And GTC is really that's the frothing end of the wave. It's the all the crazy advanced things that are being researched and being developed. There's all these papers that get submitted and all these amazing things that get unveiled. And every time there's a GTC coming around, I can't wait. Like I still don't know everything that's going to be announced at GTC. And when you go to that keynote and just one after the other, those presentations, it's mind blowing. So GTC is the most amazing place to go and learn about everything that is on the cutting edge of any industry, any vertical. And I can't wait for it to be back in person, but even now, virtual, just everyone puts even more effort into making sure that their presentations are amazing, their videos are amazing, because you don't necessarily get to touch the devices or things like that. So
it is so good. We do it twice.
Right. Yeah. So it's spectacular. So sign up for GTC. Go. It's free online. You can go and take a look at all those sessions. Go live to the sessions. It's really worth it because you get to interact more. You can chat and ask questions, and obviously everything becomes recorded and you can watch it after the fact as well. But you get the full attention of the speaker when you're there at the show, at the live presentation. So take advantage of it.
That's great. And I think one of the pluses for doing virtual is that we've been able to open the doors to people from all over the world who wouldn't have been able to come physically. So I think we're going to stick with that hybrid approach moving forward when we do go to physical. But I agree. I can't wait to meet everybody in person, especially our fans and insiders that are a part of the chat here. All right, so let's get started. Wendy, I did hear a report from a couple people that your audio may not have been coming through. So I can hear you, but for some reason it wasn't coming through on the streaming. So okay, so we have a lot of people to go through, and still more coming are going to be popping through. So let's get started. So we're going to start with Jan, who has some nice weaponry behind him, but I've been told it's foam, so we're all safe. Jan is a senior software product manager here at NVIDIA. And the official title of your session is a primer on materials for NVIDIA Omniverse, which I have to say, this is one of the topics we get asked for a lot. I know I pinged you a couple times to come on a live stream, so I look forward to that this year. Let's focus on it for a full hour. But materials is definitely, it comes up constantly. So this should be a super exciting session for a lot of people. So before we talk about the session, why don't you tell us a little bit about your role at NVIDIA on the Omniverse team?
Yeah, I'm the software product manager for our material definition language MDL, and also for materials in general for Omniverse. So we started on the MDL side quite a while ago, so some 8-9 years or so. I think 2011. It's even longer. We are always focused on basically exchanging materials between different applications and defining something that works everywhere, and that's basically what we try to achieve there. And now with Omniverse, that's of course one step closer, because now it's not just isolated; it's basically integrated into this big thing that can connect everything essentially, right? So. And of course, that also means that that I do a lot of stuff on the Omniverse side on materials. So from implementing MDL materials to all kinds of stuff.
Very cool. So what will your session cover? Is it going to be basically?
So Actually, I will have two sessions. So the one for Omniverse and another one basically about exchanging materials between renderers with MDL. So the pure MDL session will be with Lutz Kettner and will be more an overview of the language and our SDK and how to integrate this in other renderers. And then we will have the more Omniverse specific session. I will have this together with Frankie Liu, who is another product manager on Omniverse on materials and rendering. And in this session, we will talk about basically our material editor in Omniverse, the core materials that we provide there, OmniSurface, OmniPBR, the graph material editor, how to create more complex stuff in there, but also about things like how to use Substance Designer, both for creating MDL materials, there's also an MDL material editor, how to use those materials in Omniverse, how to use substances in Omniverse. Then we will talk a bit about Material X, because there's some cooperation with Autodesk and Lucasfilm on Material X and the progress we made there, and what we can do hopefully soon in Omniverse with that stuff. And then Frankie will talk a bit about things like the connectors and the material conversions from the convectors. We worked a lot, for example, on the 3D Studio Max V-Ray connector, so that made quite some progress. So it will be a lot. So it will be quite packed with different stuff, and it won't answer all the questions, but I can always come later into your session and then talk here more about this. And I know that you wanted to have us here, and I promise we will do this at some point.
I have you on tape now officially, so I just wrote it down. No, thank you so much. Obviously, the team is super busy. We really appreciate and respect your time, and thanks for coming on today. I know you've got to go, but thanks. I think you made it super clear. So I think a lot of people will be very happy with your session. So thanks.
Thank you.
Okay,
is my audio coming through now?
Let me see. Let's see. Okay. Can someone post in the chat that they can hear Wendy? Because we can hear her. Okay. So
can you hear me?
Let's see. Okay. While we wait for a response there, let's move right along. I think Gav is here with us. So Gav, you are the Senior Director of Simulation and AI here at NVIDIA. And your session is called Synthetic Data Generation, or SDG, as it's often referred to, using the Omniverse Replicator SDK. Is that correct?
That's right. Actually, I have two sessions. I have one session on synthetic data. I have another session on reinforcement learning. So my work at NVIDIA encompasses really all the different areas where AI might interact with Omniverse and with our simulation systems. So I work really closely with the Isaac Sim team, with the Drive Sim team, and my team just does a lot of really cool stuff. I get to see what the researchers are working on ahead of time, work with them to see what we can bring to the table coming to the future. So it's a super exciting role, and we have some really cool stuff to show off for GTC. So Replicator is our synthetic data generation SDK. We've been working on it for quite a while. We've had some synthetic data capabilities in Omniverse for a long time, but we've been really revamping them for this next release, and I'm really excited about what we're going to be able to show. And so both sessions are on the 22nd, one back to back, first Gym and then Replicator, and it's gonna be pretty awesome.
That's great. Well, thank you. That's a super good overview. If anyone's got questions in the chat, feel free to post them, and we'll try to keep. So if you see my head move off screen, that's what I'm doing. So feel free to post. Do you want to add something else, Gav?
Yeah, I'll do just a quick preview of Gym. So the other thing that's going to happen is in the next release of Isaac Sim, we're going to be working to integrate some of the features that we've been building for reinforcement learning with Isaac Gym into Isaac Sim. So up till now, Isaac Gym has been sort of a separate standalone system that allows us to train robots, and and we do massively parallel training with reinforcement learning, and the GPU running physics and the GPU running thousands of environments together. And in the next Isaac Sim release, we're taking all of that reinforcement learning goodness and we're baking that directly into Isaac Sim. And we'll also be showing off some of the other cool work that we've been doing, including multi GPU training. So I just have this very cool video that I hope this will work properly. So let me know if it doesn't.
I see Wendy's getting ready to
find
switch
out.
screens.
So yeah, so this is
Are you
this is an
sharing your screen yet?
I'm trying to share my screen.
Okay.
Oh, it apparently I'm not working up. Apparently it says I'm streaming my video, but I guess that's not. Oh,
I see it in the Discord.
do you see it?
Option, Wendy.
Here
I
we
see
go.
1080p 30
I got
FPS
it.
live.
She's got
I
it.
found it.
Okay. Yeah, so this is just an example of a robot that's been trained. This is actually with multi GPU training. So we're doing a system called population based training where we have many GPUs training the robot once, and this robot is trying to match the position of the block against the target position. And it's actually learned all by itself to toss it up in the air and let it go back down. So this is just one example of some of the really cool things that you can use reinforcement learning to do with robots. So super exciting.
That is so cool.
And then we've also got new stuff going on with what's called sim to real, where you take a robot that's been trained in simulation and you actually show a policy running on a real robot.
Oh wow. I know we get a lot of interest in Isaac Sim. I'm so excited about this.
We do. They are definitely hardcore fans. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Gab. It's great.
Thank you so much.
So again, feel free to hang out, or if you got to go, you can drop. And thank you so much.
I will hang out for a bit if there are any questions. I'm happy to answer them, but otherwise I will have to get going in 5 minutes or so.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, thank you again. All right. So Lou, I think you are up next if you are ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'll introduce myself. I'm Lou Rohan. I work on the Omniverse Connect team. I'm a tech lead there, and I primarily work on the Unreal connector and in fielding Discord questions and forum questions. Now, I also work on the Connect sample, which is our way to sort of guide developers into integrating with Omniverse, exporting, importing. And the talk I'm doing is called Making a Connector for Omniverse for GTC. And I'll quickly run over some of the things. We're going to talk about what a connector is, different levels of connectors, whether you just want to export USD or if you want to get into materials, MDL. And then there's importing and live collaboration and some tips and tricks there. And then we're going to go over that Connect sample that I mentioned. And we'll talk about the Omniverse client library and how it integrates with USD just a little bit. We'll go over the ins and outs of Omniverse URLs. You've probably seen those if you're dabbling in Omniverse. And when you're programming around Omniverse, you want to be really careful with those URLs because there's lots of little bits and pieces of them that aren't supposed to be treated as strings. And so there are some gotchas, common gotchas that we've found, and I talk about those. We talk a little bit about our basic version control, which is called Omniverse checkpoints, and there's a little guidance on that. We talk a little bit about USD hierarchy when you're exporting, about how we do lights and cameras and some of the things there, and also custom layer data for sort of guiding your exports so they might look a certain way with render settings in Create or Kit or View or any of the other apps that we're basing on Kit. And then I talk a little bit about live edit, and we have a code sample that we distribute with the Connect sample that sort of introduces the idea of handling the change notifications that come through the USD API. And then we talk briefly about materials a little bit. But hopefully you watch Jan's presentation so you can really get into and understand Omniverse PBR and different MDL materials. So yeah, I mean it's there's a lot in there, and there's a lot more we want to talk about. And I would encourage you connector developers to ask questions on the forum ask questions in Discord. Even if you're not even sure what your question is, just ask away, and maybe we'll get enough discussion. So it's really exciting, all the different users and different developers out there that have pinged us with questions that we don't even always know the answer to. So yeah, I look forward to interacting with more and more developers using our Omniverse SDK.
Thank you, Lou.
That's
and
very cool. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Wendy and I both are super appreciative of your time on the forums and on Discord.
Yes.
You're always super responsive, and
I try.
you have a lot of fans very passionate about Unreal and Omniverse, so it's great. Okay, cool. All right, so who should go next? Wendy, why don't you?
Let me see.
We need a wheel to
Let's see
spin.
here. So, Teresa, I'm gonna pick you.
Great pick,
Yes.
because yeah, you're going right into something that dovetails perfectly into Lou with USD.
So,
Yep.
Teresa's session, I believe, is called Fundamentals of USD for Collaborative 3D Worlds. Is that correct? Yep. Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what your session is about?
Sure. So my name is Teresa. I'm a solution architect for NVIDIA. So I basically work a lot with users, customers, partners that want to integrate NVIDIA technologies in their pipelines. And this means basically, in this case, working a lot with the Omniverse platform, but it can also mean working with a lot of the other technologies, specifically around AI. I also focus a little bit on the robotics side. So basically guiding people on how to best architect their pipelines and integrate our solutions. And my session on GTC, I also have more than one, but I focused on the one on Omniverse. It's more of a hands-on type of session. So I think it's super interesting for people who are getting started with USD or getting started with Omniverse. And so basically, I'll do a quick introduction and presentation on USD, some of the key features. So it's in depth and very interesting, but also for beginners. So if you are a little bit more advanced user of USD, it might not be the best session for you. But if you're really getting started and want to code your first, create your first USD files, understand how to use the USD Python API and so on, I think it's a great session. And it's kind of a hands-on type of session, which means that it's based on our DLI platform. It's not a full DLI course. So usually DLI courses are run throughout the day, and they are paid courses. You get a certification at the end. This one is a little bit more relaxed and chill. So it's a 2-hour workshop. You'll be able to basically launch a specific Jupyter notebook where you can run code, do your own experiments, and at the same time, you will have me and some other people from NVIDIA helping out with questions in the chat and things like that. So it's supposed to be kind of interactive. We will have some presentation just to set the stage. And then, that's basically it. I think it will help people to basically getting started with USD and understand how it's used also a little bit in different applications.
Excellent. Yeah, we've got a bunch of new people that have joined the forum that are asking for more beginner content. You guys.
All right, that's great.
This is the session you need to go to.
One thing is that because it's based on the DLI platform, it's limited in terms of the capacity, because you basically are launching specific instances where you run the Jupyter lab notebooks. And so I would really encourage you to join early, such that you can basically book your place, let's put it like that. Nevertheless, the session will be recorded, so if you need to later on go back and see the presentation, maybe run the course on your own pace, that's also perfectly fine.
That's awesome. Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you so
No
much.
problem.
So,
Maybe Wendy, one last point.
Oh yeah.
I do, and I think we actually have a couple of these throughout GTC. Every GTC we have this. So I also have a Connect with Expert sessions that I'm running. And this is a little bit not necessarily just on Omniverse, but also on robotics, autonomous machines, computer vision, and things like that. This one, it's on European time zone, but I'm sure there's a lot of these sessions as well in other time zones and also in other topics. So I think there's at least 3 or 4 on Omniverse that people should try to check out. These are usually pretty cool because you get a bunch of experts and then you can book one-on-ones with the experts. And so if you basically can talk with people from NVIDIA and ask your own questions on a specific just one-on-one session. You can show up live on camera, ask your question. You have like 5-10 minutes, depends a little bit. And that's usually super cool. I have one focusing more on autonomous machines and robotics, but there's a bunch of them for Omniverse as well. So if people are interested, they should definitely join.
Oh, that is really cool. Thanks so much, Teresa.
Thank you.
I hope
I'd like to add a little. I want to add a little description just for those who aren't familiar with Omniverse that might be kind of coming in because we're talking about MDLs and USDs and connectors and everything. Just so everyone gets a little bit of a world map of what we're talking about. You know, the USD is universal scene description. It's the file format. It's more than a file format, but for simplicity, let's say it's a file format. It's the files that we create and put into the Nucleus server in Omniverse. And the Nucleus server is the server that allows you to do that collaboration. And that collaboration is done through the connectors. So Lou's connectors is how do you get Max or Maya or any other application to speak to the Nucleus server in USD. And so going to the USD training gives you a good overview of the format and how it's built. And it's actually very interesting. It has layers and variants, and there's all this complexity to it that makes it really powerful and ideal for that collaboration. And then the connectors are how you connect into this ecosystem to do that collaboration. And then MDLs are the materials. It's the material part inside that USD to interchange the materials as well as the geometry. So just to give a little bit of a kind of overview of how these things connect together.
That was great. Perfect, actually.
Yeah, awesome. All right.
All right. Bye, Gav. Thanks,
Yeah,
Gav.
bye, Gav. Thanks so
All
much.
right. See you later.
Okay. Who is the next victim,
So,
Wendy?
The next victim. Let's
Bye,
do,
Jan.
Actually, I want to know more about 3D outdoor living. So we've got
There are two people.
We've got 2 people from 3D outdoor living to talk about their session, which is, and let me pull that up.
Ooh, this is a cool name.
Omniverse Guide to Happiness. Very interested in learning more about this session. So we have with us Chris Scott up here with the cap on, and we have Allison over here.
Hi
with
guys.
the pink headset, and you can tell I like pink. So, but yeah, welcome guys. Chris, would you like to tell us a little bit more about yourself and what we do at 3D Outdoor Living?
Yeah, so we don't let the name fool you. It just the website was available and it's kind of what we do. So it seems simple that we do outdoor living, but what we actually do is we take LiDAR 3D point cloud scans of entire properties from hotels to houses, and we focus on outdoor renovation. I didn't know before COVID, but it's booming business at this point. And we do a few thousand small projects a year. So our sheer volume of work that we do, and we do so many 1-minute rendering videos for these presentations for all of our clients. When I say so many, I mean a few 100 minutes of video easily a year. So it's hours and hours. And that was kind of our start for coming over, which was as soon as I knew that we were going to jump over. As soon as it was available to me that I could download and get in behind the beta program, we jumped over because our scenes are large. We're using point cloud stuff, which is the future. I think point cloud is absolutely the future for design and engineering. But nobody's doing it. You're either the big people or you're nobody. And so we're kind of the middle in between little people. And that kind of led us to not just what happiness was, because it solved a lot of my problems for like scalability and growth, and then that's where Allison comes in, who's on the other side of the screen. We didn't have YouTube videos. So when you start using beta software, it's like, well, what do we do? And then so that's where Allison came in. Was we need lots of videos, little tiny videos, to get everything out of my head into some form that people could understand. And so our team is Spanish and English, so that's where Allison comes in. And then she's starting Omniverse tutorials next month, and we'll be launching with about 30 videos to begin with. And wow. Allison, introduce yourself.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, we're very excited. Hi guys, I'm Alison Lanza, and yeah, we're so excited to be able to share all this information with everybody else, not only our teams, everybody else that wants to learn about Omniverse. I see all the comments here, all the questions about what is Omniverse and what is the difference between other apps. And I'm so excited to be the person that is going to help you to understand this whole new world about Omniverse.
It's awesome. I got a sneak peek, and I have to say, so you guys are doing something pretty amazing, which is basically covering right from the beginning all the basic concepts, and I think it's doubly awesome that not only you did this to help your team, obviously, ramp up to Omniverse, but the fact that you're making them available for the whole world to benefit from is such great. And if everyone doesn't know, Chris has actually been providing feedback in Omniverse for a long time. He's yes. kind of a member of the team in many ways, and a lot of kind of our improvements have been based on great feedback from Chris and others like him. So we the partners and customers, users of Omniverse are a very big part of our development process here. So always feel free to reach out to us, and you could be on a live stream and helping other users just like Chris and Allison here. So do you think, who would be best to watch the session you're doing specifically at GTC?
Our video is more about how we integrated. It's like since we're not with NVIDIA, our decision making. You guys are amazing, but our decision making is based on like what's practical for us, and that's kind of our path of like, okay, how do we do this? And it's like, well, first thing, what problem does it solve? And the first thing it solves is rendering. It's like, yeah, it's not a big step, but for the amount of time it saves, for the amount of money it saves, like, it solves so many problems. It's like, if you don't do anything else, just do this one thing, and then it's worth it. And then as you continue, you're like, okay, well, what's the next thing? And then we just keep going from there, and we move through and kind of walk you through what we worked on throughout the entire year. So the video is for kind of a general overview to say, like, this solved our problems. This solved a lot of our challenges that were kind of annoying. And for the most part, it brought everybody together as a team for collaboration. And I think I've talked to you guys all the time about collaboration. It's the key to the future, especially since we're all remote. So this video is about for those managers, for those people who are like, how do I get started? It's like, don't jump in full like me. Not everybody's crazy. Start small. And it's for those people to go, this is how we started small. And you're solving problems that actually help people. And like, we make more money, we have more time, we have more availability. So that's really, it's for everybody, I hope. And then if you have questions, we're going to be here. We've answered all of them. I don't have a human resource department, so I can say anything. And we've got enough experience from NVIDIA that I think I know most of the workarounds that you guys forget you learned a year ago. And that's kind of it. And we're going to share all that with Omniverse tutorials and hopefully build a small community. Sorry about that.
Don't be sorry. Never be sorry for pets. We love them.
What's your dog's
for my dog
name?
walking. Drake from Uncharted.
Jake.
No, that's awesome. So thank you both so much. I really look forward to these tutorials. I think the community is going to benefit tremendously from them. Chris has already been answering questions in the chat already, so you can see kind of what a great personality and help he is. So thank you both. You're welcome to hang out. But let me see. I wonder if we should have rock paper scissors between Michael and Phil.
It looks pretty dark outside, Michael's. I don't know.
It does actually.
Everything else, but
it does. Michael, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure.
Michael is also has been working with us for a long time. His work has probably been some of the promoted stuff you've seen online for our digital factory twins material with collaboration with BMW. So, Michael, why don't you introduce yourself, your company, and then we'll talk about your session.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's actually I just have one talk and it's my first talk, so I'm the rookie probably here of all you guys. But nevertheless, happy to be here. And I'm CTO and co-founder of Epolog. We're a German software company doing software for production, logistics planning, and manufacturing optimization. And I've got a background in distributed virtual reality, and so Omniverse is like my playground kind of. So I really love it. With BMW is my biggest customer right now, and we're working with them. They're using our software, and we've created a connector to Omniverse, and I'm doing lots of stuff with extensions, and really nice to work with it.
That's awesome. And Michael did come on a live stream recently, and he's offered to come back again. So for developers who want to learn how to make things like connectors and help build on top of the platform, Michael's a great resource. He has also articles on Medium, which are fantastic as well. So I definitely highly encourage everybody to check out his session. And here he popped in again. Let me see. I'm trying to see if his
dropped out.
Oh, it's okay. We got you. Okay, cool. Now, do you want to tell us a little bit about what your session is specifically, and who do you think? So it sounds like it would be developer focused.
I'm actually presenting with three team colleagues of mine, a colleague of mine, and two guys from BMW. I could share a little sneak preview if you like.
Yeah. I won't tell anybody.
So
at the marketing team.
I hope you see it like that. You see it? That's the team. That's me. Dean is a colleague of mine, and Julian and John are from BMW, and we thought it might be nice to illustrate like the challenges of a distributed team of manufacturing planners working together and solving a use case with all the tools from Omniverse and our own tools, and we thought it might be nice to basically put everybody into the Omniverse. So we actually put everybody as an avatar in Omniverse, and two guys are in the States, and we're in Germany. So that's kind of what we're gonna see, and how these guys are interacting to solve their use case in the factory.
Wow, very, very cool.
And
awesome.
so a factory is like a super complex place, and as you have seen, like in the BMW GTC presentation, there's lots of things to plan and optimize, and we show a little use case and take you with our into a planning session, and how we actually solve different challenges normal in the automotive industry, basically with our software, and then in Omniverse how we use it actually to optimize our workflow. And I don't show everything, but it's gonna be pretty neat. As you see, everything is done in Omniverse itself, and so stay tuned. We also use Reop, for example, the optimization and SDK of you guys. So yeah, lots of different aspects of manufacturing planning and optimization.
Wow.
Awesome.
And I love that you call Omniverse your playground. That is is exactly what it is. Yeah.
I like it.
He's not. People might remember over the holidays, Michael did an awesome GIF of Santa's sleigh being filled using Omniverse, basically with an amazing amount of presents. How many was it actually? It was like thousands, right?
No way.
A flood of presents. It was 2 or 3, right?
No,
million.
So many. I'll post it later on Discord. So by the way, speaking of Discord, so what we're going to do, we're trying to do after these live streams, we just head over to the Omniverse community channel, voice chat channel on Discord, and we can hang out there also. So for the questions that aren't being answered right now live, just come on over there and we'll have a little after party. Okay, so Michael, thank you so much. That's awesome. So your session is coming up. And what's the full title of the session?
It's toward a synchronized manufacturing digital twin. NVIDIA Omniverse has building blocks, basically.
And I don't think anyone knows that better than you. So thank you so much, Michael, and congratulations on the great success of your company.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And feel free to hang out as well. So so Phil, it is so nice to talk to you today. Oh, so Phil's on the NVIDIA team. For those that don't know, he's very helpful to both Wendy and myself when we have questions. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and tell people what you do here at NVIDIA, and then we'll talk about your session.
I'm Phil. Very happy to be here. Thanks. That's one of my favorite actually streaming channels. Sometimes you work on a product or a software and you don't get to see the amazing things that the community build. And I think that Edmar, Wendy, and Vince, everyone that you bring together is to showcase the creative talent of people. It's amazing to see that wrangled. So thank you very much. I know that even us internally, every time there's a great content from any of the great people in the community, there's a dedicated channels that people enjoy watching. So thank you.
It's very sweet. Thank you.
As part of the Omniverse team, I work on Kit, which is ultimately the sort of the inner framework that eventually makes it out into View, Machinima, Create, and Audio to Face, or all the other derivatives that people get to enjoy. We kind of build a bit of the building blocks and use it as an internal way to eat our own dog food in a way that we can sort of iron out any of the few kinks, get internal feedback before then pushing it out on the open and getting more feedback from the community. As others have eloquently put it, Omniverse is not only apps, it's really more about the collaboration and the connection between the apps, between the data, between the workflows, but also between the users and their creative needs. So one of the things that we also have under our purview is sort of building the software or the platform in a way that can actually serve this connection purpose. And the way we do this is using microservices. It's a design or an architecture that makes it easy to compose, reuse, and enhance the work that other teams or other third parties might have developed. And some of that includes some of the work that we have put on the open with Farm, which, for example, makes it possible to create renders or sort of batch process any of the compute that people might have. And last GTC, we did a first session sort of as a sort of introduction about what is a microservice. It's really more about demystifying what do we define as microservice, because the term can mean as little or as much as you will. So it was a bit more developer focused in a sense that you didn't have to be sort of a PhD in computer science to understand. You just had to be able to hack together a few lines of code to get something composed and working. And we thought that we'd build on this to this time around sort of step a bit away from the developer role and a bit more general in terms of how is it that you can think in terms of microservices, or how do you sort of decompose or deconstruct a problem in a way that makes it possible for you to either dispatch a job to a render service or maybe integrate with another service that you might already have, to say send an email when your turntable is done, or how do you send internal messaging or versioning, or how do you notify your technical director that a new asset has been published, or your designer needs to sort of dispatch tasks for reviews or for the different needs of the workflows that you build internally. And sort of we're not necessarily talking to developers, more about how can you then use what Omniverse has to offer to sort of scale, distribute, and grow to accelerate your own workflows. And that's I guess it's at the core of the platform that we're building, but we just want to make it sort of more transparent or more accessible, and we'll attempt as best as we can to probably start moving into that direction. But that being said, the first talk that we did last fall is still available on NVIDIA On Demand. So if you need sort of a refresher, or you want to still refer to part 1, I think now could be a great time to sort of sign up or watch the video. Maybe also use this opportunity to look at the schedule of the great talks that we'll have for GTC, or prepare any questions that you might have in preparation for the talk. We'll be hanging around during GTC, and we'll have sort of a breakout session. So during the chat, we'll be there, and we'll be there afterwards to answer any questions you have. So we're very much excited to have everyone on board this time around again. And thank you again for the amazing work, and for the opportunity to let us from the internal team also expose some of the work that we're excited to bring to the community.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Phil. That was amazing. I'm glad we had this on tape.
I just love how our developers are available to answer questions and help people.
Trying to.
Yeah, no, it's great. And along those lines, so for those who don't know, Wendy manages our forums, which is amazing, because there's so many levels to the forums and sub-forums for each app and service. And I think that, people like Phil interacting with the community is one of the things that the community feels is so valuable, to be able to have that accessibility to us. So thanks for coming on. And your session sounds like it's going to be perfect for many developers. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so that is not everything, actually. So we're a little bit under an hour now. So anyone can feel free to hang out who's on the panel here. So we did meet with a few developers yesterday who couldn't be with us today, and we did want to play those little brief Q&As about their sessions as well. So I think Wendy has some of these queued up.
Yes, I do.
I don't know who's first.
Let's see here. Let's do Lena.
Yeah,
Wilber.
That's a great, yes. So Lena is doing some amazing work, and probably some of the work that's grabbing the most attention in the headlines related to digital humans. And she just started working in games, where I met her actually at a game publisher called THQ, and then we worked on a couple of games together. And then she went to Epic and was instrumental, I think, in lots of great things there, even working on MetaHumans. And now she's working at NVIDIA, and she will tell us a little bit about that in a second. Lena, it's so nice to talk with you today. Thanks for coming.
Hi, Edmar. Nice to be here.
So for everyone who might not know, Lena and I used to work together many years ago at THQ. We worked on some great games, and then she went on to work for Epic Games, where she worked on the Unreal Engine, doing some amazing stuff that you can hear more from her. But Lena, why don't you tell everybody what you do specifically at NVIDIA on the Omniverse team?
Okay, I'm in simulation technology team. We work on Omniverse a lot of different aspects, but the part I'm focusing on is the animation system. I'm from Epic Games, as Edmar said. I love animation system. I worked on a lot of different area of like rigging to facial animation to different kind of everything in Unreal Engine 4. Probably you can blame on me something about it because it was not a small project to start with and it became big later. But yeah, so now I'm at NVIDIA working on animation system for runtime animation.
Yeah, and I think the stuff you're working on is kind of what some of the public gets the most excited about. You know, showing the avatar and the meta-human stuff and digital humans. I think it's a really exciting kind of thing in the industry right now that everyone's trying to see what they can do with. So so thank you so much for giving us a little time today.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, it's exciting now because we showed a little bit in last two like digital twin demos, but not a lot. But this time we can actually really show. John Malaska is gonna talk about the whole thing in animation runtime systems, so it'll be exciting. So it's not about AI. Everybody is excited about AI, but my topic is about animation retargeting. It's something I'm really big passion about. I think anybody who work with me actually knows about that, how much I passion about that topic. Animation retargeting is a problem where you want to place same animation to different characters because they look similar, but that has been challenging for so many years. You can do it, a lot of system out there, but you need to understand how exactly the character is made. Like you have to know a lot of like technical issues before getting there. So nowadays it's more interesting now because digital twin and synthetic data generation and a lot of people coming to 3D world to hoping that they can use all this. They can generate this 3D world in here, right? I guess in a way, real world into this world. But that work is a lot more involving than expected because the way they see it is you just have to create here, but the motion becomes a lot more work. So I think generally in Omniverse, we want to reduce this gap and making it easy to use. And that's what one of the goals for the animation retargeter in Omniverse is also the same goal. Want to make it easy to use. Not too much work. You can just do quick button click and it can work. You know, long time in the game industry, I know it's kind of funny analogy. A lot of, you know, when I was at Epic, a lot of people ask me, where's the button to make a MMO? Could you make a button? Just I need to press this button that it's missing. So I joke about it, but it's almost like that. You want this button to do magic for you. Yeah.
Very cool. And who would be the best people to attend your session at GDC or GTC? Who do you think? Who as both user, developer, artist?
Yeah, it's users who are interested in knowing more about 3D, like world character animation, and what involves to transfer the animation data. Like traditionally talking, like riggers or animators or animation engineers who care to know more about this topic, or they have idea what's different here, or any 3D experts, I think, who just want to understand a bit more about their world. I think it will be great to come and check out.
Cool. And I haven't seen it yet, but I hear there's going to be something really fun as part of your presentation. So I would actually say that everybody should probably come check it out, because it's a really cool project that you're going to show off with somebody who's very recognizable. I'll just say that.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Yeah, I hope it's fun and entertaining.
It's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lena. I know how busy you are. We are so appreciative for having your time here. I look forward to having you on the live stream soon when things slow down a little bit and you can take a breather and chat with us and talk to the community and answer questions. So, but thank you for taking the time to do this with us today.
Oh, you're very welcome, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
She's awesome.
Yeah, that is
And
going
yeah.
to be super exciting, and I hear that she's going to show off something super fun. So that session is definitely not to be missed.
Yes, just to see that super fun.
Yes.
It's worth it.
Yes. Wendy knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I can't wait. I'm definitely gonna be there. Yeah, so we let's do Cohen. We've had Cohen on here before. But he
He's
is
great.
really busy. Really busy right now. So Cohen is a lead software developer for Kit and the application code. He works closely with Damien, and our community knows Damien. And you'll see in this interview some of the cool projects that he's gotten to work on throughout the years. And
Oh my God, crazy!
yeah, it's amazing.
Here we
Hi,
go.
Cohen. Thank you so much for taking time to be with us today. I know you're super busy, so we appreciate you spending a few minutes with us. So for those of you who don't know Cohen, he is one of the lead developers for Kit, and especially the new app Code. And Cohen, would you like to talk a little bit more about yourself and what you do here at NVIDIA?
Sure. Started at NVIDIA actually not too long ago. I have a background in media and entertainment where I was always working on film and games, and there I would build and use tools. And when I saw all the cool stuff that NVIDIA was building to help me do that easier and better, I wanted to be a part of that. So now I'm on this side and I'm helping to build those. And what I do mostly in the Kit team and in the code team is I still build the tools that I think are relevant, but then while I'm building those, I pay special attention to what my experience is developing those. Do I have the right tools? Do we have the right APIs and the right access to the code and help? And then I try to build this whole ecosystem and expand it so that other people can benefit from those experiences. And in the meantime, I build some fun applications, and I extend some of the code that lives in Kit that we use in the code application.
That's awesome.
It
Yeah.
is awesome. You know, I would be missing a beat if I did not ask. Can you share some of the names of the games or the video?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Movies you
So
worked
some
on?
of the movies I worked on was at DreamWorks, for example, Kung Fu Panda,
Oh, cool.
and some Shrek work.
Love them.
And then I did a bunch of Marvel movies. I worked on the Avengers and on
Oh my
Spider-Man and Elysium.
Oh, how
Holy
cool.
And for games I did before I went to LA to work on films. I worked in Amsterdam at Guerrilla Games on the Killzone franchise.
Yeah.
And then later, when I got back to games, I started with God of War at Santa Monica Studio, the 2019 version. And most recently, I spent 4 or 5 years working on Call of Duty.
Holy cow! You
Yes.
just that's a pretty
All the
pretty
things.
everything, everything awesome. Wow, that's really great. So so people then are going to want to flock to your session. So tell us, number one, kind of what is your session on GTC focused on, and then we'll talk about who probably should best attend.
So my session will focus on getting started in developing your own extensions or applications built on Kit. So it's for people who are curious, that are like, oh, they're playing with something like Create, and then they're curious, like, how can I extend this, or how can I create my own plugins for this? And for that, we built this application called Code, which at the moment it's still a little bit similar to Create, but more and more we're massaging that to be relevant for developers, where you get instant feedback of the code you're writing and the changes you're making. And I'll be just showing some tips and tricks on how to get started, and basically the 101 of writing extensions. That's where I started when I was at NVIDIA, and some of the lessons I learned there, some of the hurdles I found that we haven't been able to to fix yet, because many of those things we're trying to fix before they get to the users, of course. But just some of those tips and tricks, and how to get started, the introduction. That's what I'll be focusing on.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, so developers have a lot to look forward to. I have to say, Damien is one of the most popular people who comes on our live stream.
Yeah.
He has a fan club, and he's always telling me, how are my fans doing? When do I need to come back? So anyway, there's a big appetite for
he is fantastic, and he's really good at the deep dives and going all the way. And so at my angle compared, he's the one that's been developing all this stuff from day one. He knows the ins and the outs, and he knows how it works. And I've come in new with fresh eyes, so that's the perspective I want to share, because I think that's what developers will experience when they start looking at it. They don't have this knowledge of the entire system to the last line of code that Damien has. Yeah. So I'm hoping that I can help them get in there a little bit quicker and a little bit easier.
I have no doubt that there will be 2 fan clubs after your GTC session. We'll have a fan club for Damien, a fan club for Cohen, and then we'll have a big battle. No, I'm just kidding.
I think we'll do most of the presentations together, or we'll tag team. So one thing, I'll be focusing a lot on Python development for the C++ plugins and the compiling. We haven't really rolled out yet for external development as much, or we haven't made it as easy. So my focus will be very much on Python, which, to be frank, is a large part of tools like Create or Code are built on Python. So it's much more powerful than you would think it is.
Yeah, that's great, and it's also good news too that we're adding support for C, because I know that a lot of developers have been asking, how far down the road is that?
Okay, now it's coming, and internally, of course, we use it. We just need to. It's a little bit harder to wrap that up in a really nice development environment. Python is a little bit simpler in that respect. So we're just working out how to do that as elegant as possible.
Well, it sounds like we're going to be making everyone happy, especially the attendees of your session. So thank you so much, Cohen. I really appreciate you taking the time. People have a lot to look forward to, and we'll let you know if we get any questions on the live stream that you should be prepared for next time you come back.
Of course.
Thank you so much, Cohen. We'll talk to
happy
you soon.
to do it. All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
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 He's so nice. I love Cohen.
What he's worked on in the past is just mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And what's coming in the future as well.
That's a session I'm definitely going to be there for. So the 2 videos that we have left are honestly 2 of very important people that I know our community is going to be really excited about. And we're going to talk with Michelle, who is the lead on PhysX, and there's some really cool stuff coming very soon for PhysX, and you guys, well, here's a video you can hear for yourself.
Hi, my name is Michelle Liu. So I'm the development manager of the PhysX team. I have been working in physics simulation domain for nearly 20 years now. I started out working on rigid body simulation, and more recently, I have begun to work on fluid simulation and granular material simulation, such as slow and sound effect, finite element method for deformable simulation, and coding and NPM, and many other techniques. So my team's focus is to develop a complete multi-physics simulation for Omniverse. This requires research into a wide range of simulation techniques and developing novel solutions. So our primary goal is to bring high-fidelity simulations into real-time domain by leveraging the superpower for our NVIDIA's GPU.
Wow, that's amazing! Holy cow! We have so on the community side. Wendy sees this all the time. I see this all the time. We have so many people who are interested and fascinated by physics. and I think it's definitely one of the more popular topics that we always get. So that being said, what will be the focus of your GTC session coming up?
Yeah, so in GTC, right, the session is all about physics simulations and the Kaplan set and available in PhysX and Omniverse, right? And our roadmap for the future, what are we going to be, right? I think it's a wide range of topic we can discuss in this session. Last year, we host the same GTC session. It's actually quite kind of funny story. We talk about a wide range of topic, right? Such as fluid simulation, NPM and soft body, all this kind of different technique. But at the end, we wound up also talk about whether we live in a simulation world. So whether we are robot or what, actual human. So that's it's a really weird discussion at the end.
I think that's awesome. And so it sounds like almost anyone who's interested in PhysX should come. But is there a specific group of people that you think would be, most interested in this session?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. Everyone should, if they are interested in physics simulation, they should join us and talk about wide range of technique. And of course, right, if you are expert level physics simulation engineer, absolutely come to talk with us. We love to hear your voice, and we love to discuss in that detail of a different wide range of technique.
That's awesome. I'm super excited to see what's on the roadmap. I think there is some super, really exciting things coming down the pike, and I'm curious to see what they are myself. So thank you so much, Michelle.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
See you at GTC.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, wow. Okay, so PhysX, one of the coolest things you can do in Omniverse is play with the physics extension. Set fire to things, blow things up. It's pretty cool. So our next video that we have, we actually got a hold of Simon, who is
Elusive
does a lot of
Simon.
work. Yeah, does a lot of work with Digital Human, and I know you guys have seen him on the forums. He does a lot. He helps me out a lot with audio to face. He's such a busy guy. Really cool guy. So let's take a look at what he's going to be doing at GTC.
Simon, thank you so much for joining us today. I know how busy you are, and we're very grateful to have you here. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Simon is one of the great leads here at the NVIDIA Omniverse team, and he's working on some of the most exciting things that we're going to be sharing in the coming months, and that we have shared, especially relating to audio face, and that's taking some big steps forward. So first, before we kind of get into the session at GTC, Simon, would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do on the Omniverse team?
No. Thank you for having me. So I'm Simon. Good to meet everybody. So I lead the digital human efforts at NVIDIA, and previous to NVIDIA, I've been working on visual effects, creating digital characters, creatures for over 20 years. At NVIDIA, with our digital human effort, we're focused on how to simplify some of the process. Creating digital characters is always a time-consuming, laborious, approach, and the efforts to control, paint, animate, or rig tends to take quite a bit of time. So what we're trying to do is really simplify and open up the usage of digital humans for more people, and accelerate the whole process so it becomes more intuitive, fun, and less of a pulling points type of thing. So
awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. So at GTC this year, you'll be giving a really interesting talk. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things the talk we're giving, it's called the importance of digital human in industries. As I think in the past 2 decades or more, a lot of digital human has been focused on entertainment, M&E for games, movies, and things like that. And they have given a lot of value to imagined worlds that don't exist. And so, but we see a big trend and also more popularity in using digital characters for many more industries, and that's coming up, and more so than I think people might realize in terms of education, medical, virtual assistants, and so forth. So part of the theme of this talk really is to discuss and talk about what are the changes that we see coming, how are technologies enabling those changes to happen, and why is it important, and why is it a good thing that digital human is going to be a big part of everybody's lives.
Absolutely, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So who do you think will be the best audience? Like who should attend this session?
I mean, specifically, I think anybody who loves 3D, who creates in 3D, or even just who appreciates and enjoys graphics and digital characters. But really, the session's for everybody. And the reason is we think the impact and especially the panel, we have a really great panel from people from Epic Games, from medical fields, to Microsoft, who are creating synthetic data for training AI, to Reallusion, to others, and Marcus Gross, who's the head of Disney Research, is moderating the session.
Oh,
So
wow, that's amazing.
it's a really great combination of panelists that will talk about what we see now, but what we'll see in the near future. And this is coming. I think it's going to be, as I call it, there will be a face for every voice in the not far future. And having that emotional attachment to characters that you might rely on makes a difference. So what would that all be about? What would that future be like? I think that's for everybody. So.
That's
awesome.
That's
awesome.
It sounds like a fantastic panel. It's super exciting. I know I will definitely be there.
Me too.
Simon, thank you so much for your time. We look forward to having you and your team on for live streams later on this year, and we can talk about some of the stuff in more detail.
Definitely.
But for now, have a great GTC, and we'll see you at the session.
Thank you,
Thank
Simon.
you. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Wow, so cool. Oh my gosh. So many amazing technologies are going to be announced here at GTC. I just can't wait. It is,
We actually,
love it.
we heard from some people in the community were saying that one of the biggest challenges of GTC, looking at the schedule, is how to kind of be able to see everything they want easily. You have access to the sessions if you register afterwards, so you don't have to watch them live. We tried to be very careful about making sure that we don't overlap too much stuff with similar interests, but yes, sometimes when you have this many talks happening, it's tough to line it up perfectly in terms of timing. But yeah, it looks like people are getting excited in the chat. Vince has been doing double duty, answering some tough questions, some good questions.
Yeah, it's really nice to see the interest from everyone, and also to get the speakers and customers here too, right? It's not just about NVIDIA showing what we're doing, but like having Christopher and Michael here, just being able to show how they've embraced it and kind of their journey through adopting Omniverse and how it changes their workflows, and that's a two-way street too. Having customers get onto the platform and start doing these amazing things and bring that feedback, and then you could see all of our engineers how eager they are to hear from the community. And so it's been amazing to see. I've been in a lot of software companies before, and Omniverse is very unique. And I think there's the fact that the product is this thing that brings everyone together is one of the reasons. And the involvement of the engineers and the the willingness of customers to be on that front line and try things that are not working that great up front and making them better. And I think it's been really, really amazing to even our group here, the community group on Omniverse, is kind of a new thing for NVIDIA itself. It's kind of came out of this enthusiasm around the product and the willingness for everyone to just jump in and help and make this thing better as a team. And I'm really been impressed with the engagement that everyone's got on both sides, right, from the company, and it's really awesome. And last year GTC, it was really early on Omniverse. Now we have all these amazing things in production, these customers that have purchased Omniverse Enterprise that are in production with it, and we're just seeing the multitude of use cases just take off. It's really, really amazing. And GTC, I think Omniverse was a few sessions, and now it's hard to find a session that doesn't have Omniverse as part of it. So it's really, really cool to be at that beginning of the future of these connected virtual worlds.
It is. It's so inspiring to see some of that work come together from some of the people in the community and businesses that are taking it in ways that even it's hard for us to imagine. In terms of the creativity and the scope, and popular requests we've been getting on the forums and on Discord also is for more tutorials on the collaboration aspect of Omniverse. So I'm very happy to tell everybody that we have something really great in progress from none other than a graduate of the UAD program from Mexico. This is one of the students, former students that worked on a connector, and he's putting together the final touches of basically a walkthrough article on how to set up Nucleus specifically for collaboration. So we're going to be publishing that soon, and we'll probably do a corresponding video with it. So for people who are really looking to collaborate with another user in the same app concurrently, or different apps, but work in the same scene concurrently, there's going to be some cool guidance on the way very shortly. Okay, so that I think wraps up this very star powered live stream.
Yes.
So I want to thank everybody. Thank you to Wendy for doing all the juggling in the background that makes these things happen. We do seem to be having still a little bit of a problem with Twitch. We're going to investigate that. It just seems to be a little jumpy for some people. It seems like Twitch has always been a little foreign.
It's dropping frames, and I'm actually going to investigate that as soon as we get off here. Figure out what the heck's going on. But yeah.
So thanks for letting us know. Yeah, and thanks for letting us know, everybody. And YouTube seems to be very stable for everybody. So what we're going to do now, we're going to wish a very big thank you to Allison and Michael and Chris and Vince, of course, Wendy, Amelia, and Greer, who are helping behind the scenes, and the rest of our team here, and all the developers who came and shared their stories with us. There was a few people who wanted to come today but couldn't make it, so we'll see maybe if we can sneak them in next week during next week's live stream. But for now, we're going to hop over to the Omniverse community voice chat and Discord if everyone wants to just chat for a little after live stream show. And anyone on the panel is welcome to join us. But obviously, just thank you for your time. And until next time, thank you guys. And don't forget to register for GTC.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks Amar as well. Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
I'm kinda like complicated.
Okay.
I never know what I'm chasing. No.
Where's
I don't need someone to save me.
Yeah, just a couple channels up.
But you appear like a lightning bolt. Maybe you're a wizard. Cause you're busy. There's magic in your rhythm, like a shockwave to my system.